welcome to Aimless Babble Z, episode 272. I'm Ticket Master, joined by...
RPG Maniac 05.
And Trioptical.
So yeah, we got so much fun playing. Is there any RR or question time this week, Tropical?
Oh, I did have one. Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
It's Trioptical will ask stuff. I forget what you called it last week.
I think it's
I thought it
question
was
time.
clever.
Tropical's question
Question
time.
time.
I think you had a better name for it, actually.
I don't remember what it was.
Just forgot it.
And then news, because stuff happened and stuff.
Did stuff happen, though?
Yeah.
Did it?
So what you been playing? Who wants to go first?
Everybody. We should just all
I
shout
beat a
everything at
game.
once.
Sadly, though, it was not one of my games, so my backlog remains the same. But
What's the purpose?
I think it was Tekken. Tekken was talking about he was interested in the new Mortal Kombat, but if he's just gonna play the story, then is it really worth buying it? And I was like, that is right. I just want to play the story. So I rented it. Very luckily, I was like, oh my gosh, it's here.
I think
I
that was
rented
Gamer that
it.
said that, not me.
Oh, was it Gamer?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I was like, I'm not buying this because it's a season pass, so pass until it has the edition with all the stuff in it.
That actually would make a very interesting question. Maybe we'll do that one. So I rented it, and I was like, well, it requires 42 gigs. Where the heck am I going to get that?
Here we
And
go
the solution
again.
was other PlayStation. So I busted out the 20th anniversary PlayStation that I have.
Oh, no.
My wife's been trying to get me to try it. She's like, do you know if it works or not? Like, I have no idea.
Nope,
Like, we should just
got a
see
break.
if it works. Like, fine, I'll try it.
At least someone
Set
in the
it up.
house is-
It's cool. Actually, I forgot it comes with a vertical stand, which the locking mechanism is weird. It's just like these two rubber feet that fit into that space between the top and bottom. You know how the PlayStation 4 is like sort of like a sandwich? There's like a thinner part in the middle.
Which,
Like the two
yes, I know
the
what
two
you're
feet
talking
just
about.
sort of lock into there, and then you turn these locks, and I guess, I don't know, it locks on somehow. It's very different than any of the other stands that I've seen.
That you just slide on that thing.
But it does look really cool, and turned it on, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like having a new PS4.
Because
And
it is.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is so awesome. I have more than 10 gigs of space. It's incredible. And so I started it up. Oh, it sort of sucked. Like, day one when you got the PS4, I don't think there was an update, right? It just, you could sign in and do everything.
I have no idea.
Now
Right.
there's an update, so I had to wait for that. And then Mortal Kombat has these giant updates, and apparently there's a new mode called Faction War, or it's just like a background meta game type thing. So everything you do in the game earns XP for a faction that you choose at the beginning. There's like 5 different factions: Special Forces, Lin Kuei, White Lotus, something. The other ones, the Mortal Kombat ones. And yeah, because of that, you cannot play story mode without the update, which was like a 3 gig update, and then there was another one today,
Oh my.
and I was just like, really? This is like single. I don't care about the factions. I don't even own this game. I just play the story.
I don't even own this game.
But maybe the factions. Wait, are there like different factions for the story, or is it just
Nope.
one?
There's faction
Oh.
fatalities, I know that.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
like the factions, being part of them unlocks stuff as you level up. It looked kind of like Drive Club's clubs. As you level up everyone together, you get more stuff. But I didn't really see any of that because I didn't really care. I just wanted to play the story. Oh, actually, yeah. As a side note, while I was waiting for the download, I decided to go play Twisted Metal on a PlayStation Now. I guess I've never beaten the story mode because it's really hard. So, but anyway, back to Mortal
Talking about
Kombat.
the latest one, or
Yeah, the PS3 one.
no? Yeah.
It's really hard. Just so many time limits, and just everyone's against you, and yeah, you don't really have that much health. unless you're the ice cream truck.
Sweet Tooth.
Yes.
How did
Sweet.
you not know Sweet Tooth's name? He's practically their mascot.
Well, in Twisted Metal, like in the new one, Sweet Tooth is the character, and
Well,
the
but
character in
still
the
though,
car.
it's like he's like
It's
their
just called-
semi mascot now, and people just well, no, his name is something else, but Sweet Tooth.
Well,
is
his
the
name
truck.
is Sweet Tooth.
It is
Isn't it?
now, but previously it was just the truck's name was Sweet Tooth, and his name
Really?
was like something Kane or some crap like that. Yeah, because they usually the nicknames they have are all the names of their cars, and then
Well, in
it'll
the
be
story, it says that he hates that name because he feels like it's Sweet Tooth is like the evil within that guy, whose name was something Kane. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Mortal Kombat. It's really good. The story is not quite as involved as the previous one. I really like the story in Mortal Kombat. I guess people call it Mortal Kombat 9. In 10, it does take it to new places. I don't
It's
think
X. What do they
Right.
call it?
it's called Mortal Kombat X. I don't think it's a rehash of any of the older stories, so it's totally new. It takes place like 20 years later, and like there's kids of characters that you knew from before. And yeah, I guess I can't really say too much about the story, but it didn't feel quite as long as the other one. It didn't there weren't the levels where you had to fight 1 versus 2, so it was a bit easier. And they also have a mechanic where you can actually skip fights.
What?
So if you're just like, I can't get through this, then you can just skip fight a certain number of skips. And I was just
Skip
like,
the fights.
I think that's like Shao Kahn in the last one because he was like super cheap.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
well, so I was sitting there and then I was like, huh, that's weird. After every time I lose, it says retry, skip fight, or return to main menu. I was like, I can just skip it?
Did you ever try skipping it?
Yeah, I tried skipping it to see if like, can I just skip through the entire game? And so, I would play a few times and then I would skip. And then later, it turns out you only have a limited number of skips. And I was like, oh, okay. So in my mind, originally, I was thinking, did they make it so that like they found out people really like the story in Mortal Kombat 9, and there was like, but some people, either they just weren't good, and it's like, oh, we're denied the story because we can't play the game, or we're like, a really common complaint for the last 2 have been, people don't like to play characters they don't like.
I agree.
So every
with that.
time they would have to play a character that they didn't know how to play, they'd just be really angry or whatever, or mark the game down as I think IGN did. And so yeah, I was like, is that what this is for? But then I found out, oh, it's a limited number of skips, which means, yeah, I guess it's just for accessibility. If you really can't get past a fight, then they let you skip some
This
of
is
them.
like, I don't know, dude. The more I hear about this game, the more I am against this game.
It is.
It is very teetering on being the anti-game. So
Yeah, it's
I don't
it's
know
like
combat.
it has a much less.
Buy the crypt, skip the fights, enjoy the game.
Well, maybe it's like they're
Fun.
still making a Mortal Kombat movie without actually making a Mortal Kombat movie.
Well, there were parts of the game where I felt like if it was a movie, it would not be that great a movie.
Oh,
You know the
Never.
thing where the heroes are surrounded and it looks like they're gonna die, and then it drags a little bit long, like we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, and then someone comes and saves us. Like I think that happened more than once in the story, and it was like like if this was a movie, it would not be that great.
although I think they tried that in the last game. Didn't like all the characters die when they were like, "No, we got this," and they all
Almost
teamed up on
everyone died.
Sindel or something, and she like murdered
Yeah.
all of them. I was like, "Well, that's embarrassing," but yeah.
It's kind of neat where the story goes. Actually, I enjoyed, if not the actual scenes and stuff, I enjoyed where they took the different characters. Like, oh, this is kind of cool. And how the world changed and everything is different. And oh man, like it has one of those Marvel style after the credits type scenes and I cannot wait for the next one. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see where it goes.
That's how they get you.
It looks so cool. Um, what else? Oh, so actually, the crypt is really cool because we had talked about the thing. Is like, oh, does it detract from the game having all this? Like, you can unlock everything in the crypt with real money. I mean, I still think that it's weird logic for people to have, but I I guess it is like, when you spend money, you want to get something back of value. And yeah, it's like what RPG was saying, like it saves you time. Even though I don't agree with it, like I can kind of see where it's like, yeah, okay, it makes sense because a lot of the things you unlock in the crypt are like brutalities, so you just wouldn't have those if you hadn't unlocked them. I think there are costumes. I don't think there are stages, like brutalities, fatalities, different costumes. So like if you really want that stuff, say you're doing a tournament or whatever, you set up the tournament. It's like, oh my gosh, we haven't unlocked all these things. You take tournament funds and you just unlock all of the games there instead of having people say, all right, everyone, I know you came for the tournament, but we first have to unlock everything so that you can be awesome and showy. So no sleeping tonight, even if you're competing tomorrow. We're just going to unlock all these games here.
All the characters unlocked, so it wouldn't be an issue. So it's like, shouldn't that just be like...
Actually, one of the characters isn't unlocked until you beat the story mode.
Oh.
I imagine like you can unlock that character through microtransactions also.
We're just
microtransactions.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it, we'll just pay the fee. Give
So I suppose
my
like
brothers their money.
okay, some people could. In certain circumstances, it might make sense, but I think for the most part, I don't know if it makes. That's why I still think it's worse that people would buy it because the logic for most people it escapes me. But the crypt itself is really cool. Like the old crypts, I think were you just sort of walked around, right? It was like this 3D environment, and you walked around and you unlock stuff, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Then in the new crypt, it's sort of it's a game also. So you're walking through it, and you're unlocking stuff, but occasionally you'll be attacked by things, and it'll be like a quick time event to defend yourself, and then you get you get combat coins for not getting injured. Like you don't actually die or anything, but it's pretty intense because I had no idea. I was just walking around unlocking all the tombstones, and then suddenly this like wolf jumped out at me. He's like, "What the heck?" And then hit the right button. It's like, "Oh, cool! You can get more coins just by walking around, getting attacked by random animals." And then I found out like there are certain parts of the crypt that are locked. You need to find items while you're walking around in the crypt to unlock other areas of the crypt. Like I found Raiden's staff and Kung Lao's like hat and like Scorpion's spear chain thingy was like it pinned a head to a tree, and you take that and then I guess you use those to unlock other areas. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. So that's quite enjoyable. I think eventually when the game becomes cheaper and well, I guess I won't even say the other thing because it makes no sense because it will never happen. When the game becomes cheaper, I will probably pick it up because there's a lot of stuff to do. Or actually, I guess I could just go play Mortal Kombat 9 because there's a lot of stuff to do, and obviously I haven't done that yet.
And you can't get it all for $20. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way for me to shortcut my way through that one.
Oh, there's a way. Oh, there's a way.
Pay someone else. Hey, beat this game for me.
It's like, okay.
I need you to spill, I think it's like 100 gallons of blood with every character.
Oh my.
There's a ton of stuff to do in the other one.
It's a lot of blood.
There might be less stuff in this one by a little bit. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, I guess going back to the PlayStation Now thing, I think they improved it somehow because I've always played it with a wired connection, but when I was playing Twisted Metal, I was using my new PS4 that doesn't have a wired connection, and it was entirely flawless. I was like, that was not like that before. Before, if I did it on wireless, it would have a few more problems, but it was totally invisible that I was streaming Twisted Metal from a server somewhere. Very cool. I wonder if it has to do with the thing where they enabled like 60 frame share play and stuff like that. Just optimized it somehow. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So that's what I've been playing.
That's it.
Yes, I beat a game.
It wasn't even your game. At every turn, Trioptical. At every turn.
I completed it with a K.
Ha ha! Don't ever do that again.
That's the second time tonight.
Do you want to go next RPG?
I guess I can. So, I've been still playing, or I guess somewhat playing Record Keeper. I just keep logging on to get the daily bonuses, but I missed the event for Cecile or Cecil or whatever the hell his name is, and I must have read the date thing wrong because I was like I got halfway through, and then when I got up in the morning to log on, I was like, oh no, it's gone, and it made me sad because it was like a long thingy too. So wasted effort for nothing. So I think the current one going on is like to recruit heirs, but I don't like her, so I don't care. So I just been playing through the rest of them and just kind of going through the different worlds and stuff. So I just got Rydia today, or however you say her name, the summoner from 4. So I've been using her to go through the 4 dungeons with Kane and stuff. So
Are you high level in that? Like, what level are you?
my character, the highest level I think they're at is like 13. They're not that high.
Okay. So we're around the same pace.
Yeah.
Have you tried? I tried the event, like, there's like 3 different difficulties. And the second one, I think it was just like normal. Or it called it something innocuous. And I went in and like the first enemy is like, one hit kills your black mage.
It happened to me too, because I think I went into the event and I was like, let me try this. And then I went to normal and then it just like party wiped me and I was like, holy crap, this isn't right.
He just did 1,000 damage. I only have like 200 HP.
I don't know what was going on, because I mean I think because that's why I've been avoiding like the EX or the elite dungeons or whatever. But it's like I don't know. I tried to go to some of these and I'm like I thought this was normal difficulty. That's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was weird. So I had to like play on easy for any of the daily dungeons and stuff, because apparently they don't know the difference between difficulty levels and stuff. So
yeah, it's just like, I guess this is normal. Like,
it's like, so I guess you have to be like really high level to do certain stuff, or at least need like better equipment or something. But I think that might require actual money, which is not going to happen. So yeah, I will have to just do it the hard way and semi power level my characters, although it takes like forever to get experience in this game, because they spread out the experience between the party, and as opposed to everybody getting that much experience kind of thing. So it takes forever. So I don't know, but it's a nice little time waster, so it's fine for now anyway. But yeah, I guess we'll see once they have events for like better characters that aren't from like Final Fantasy 7 or 12, hopefully. So yeah. Other than that, I beat Bloodborne because I kind of got tired of just not beating it, so I beat it because I was like, might as well at this point, because it's like Bloodborne. I don't know how I feel about this game, because it's like it feels like it's smaller than the previous games, kind of like there's not as much to do as there was in the in the other games, and because I just feel like I beat it so much faster or easier. Either way, doesn't matter than the other games because it's like you don't for one there's not as many covenants which was like one of the things that made me like the most sad about because it's like in the previous ones there's like 9 or 10 covenants and then in this one there are only I guess three because I seen people with like stuff from the other NPC I didn't get a chance to talk to in my first playthrough, but it's like it's kind of sad because like none of the for one, none of the covenants really have like the same kind of mechanics like they had in the previous games, where like there's certain like online components, or like they work with like duels, or people like getting brought into your territory, and you can like set traps for them and stuff. It's like there was like a lot of cool things that they had going on with the covenants in the previous games, and it's like, and this one is kind of just like they didn't even bother. So it's like that kind of made me sad because it's like that added like a lot of playability to the game to begin with. So it's like even when you're trying to like figure out what the hell's going on in the story, you still had something else to do with your covenants and leveling up with them or whatever, and you don't have that in Bloodborne. And then I don't know, the story's kind of like more cryptic than usual. So it's like I'm not completely sure what what's going on. So it's just like because I've been reading like the item descriptions and like talking to, and the problem is it's like they're not like a lot of NPCs or this time around as well for you to talk to, so you don't get like some of the lore and everything because everybody's like going insane or turning into beast or whatever. So it's like you're kind of like piecing together stuff from wherever you possibly can, and it just makes it just weird. So I'm like I'm not sure if I got if the ending was good or not because I'm like is it maybe I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, I don't know. But apparently there's like three different endings. But I'm assuming I may have gotten the good one, maybe. Possibly. I don't
I'm gonna get the bad one. I just know.
know. Yeah. Well, I mean, from my understanding, the only way to get the quote unquote good ending is from like you have to like collect like a certain item. So if you didn't which requires you to fight like a lot of optional bosses, so if you haven't like actually gone through to fight them, then yeah, you probably will not get the quote unquote good ending. So I don't know because I got four of them, so I'm assuming I got them all because Gamer was telling me that you only needed like three of them, and I got four of them, so I'm assuming I got them all. And yeah, but the ending's kind of just like, yay. So I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of, and it's kind of hard to explain without like spoiling stuff or spoiling as much as you can, I guess, with that type of game. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just I, I guess I was just hoping for more after having played the previous games, and then kind of just like I'm like semi disappointed because it's like this could have been so much better. But
Well, you certainly don't sound full of happiness and jubilation, that's for sure.
right, that's what I'm saying, and it's like I spent like hundreds of hours in the
That
previous
Bloodborne, it
games.
was such an
Like,
amazing experience. Best game I've played so far this year. Hands down. Third Division far. Forever.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sad because like I was expecting so much out of. Maybe that's what the problem was. I was expecting too much,
You can never
and
expect too much RPG. Never.
So, did you go for Dark Souls 2 re-release?
I did not. I was going to, but then I kind of like the only reason why I didn't was because I had already beaten the other one. I was like, should I
Mm.
really buy a re-release of this? But then when I keep hearing about the stuff that they added, I'm like, oh my God, I should totally get this game. But then at the same time, I'm like, I already beat it, so I shouldn't do this. But at the same time, like the DLC is in it too, so I can
Don't
still
do
get it,
an
and I haven't played the DLC
RPG.
yet,
Don't
so I
be
should
like
do
me in
it.
Tropical.
What Tekken
Stay away.
six player battle
It's a trap.
royales? Six player battle royales. The PS4 has the power to
Get
do
out while you
it.
can. The cake is a lie. But delicious. Sweet, sweet, succulent
So
deliciousness.
wait, so I should get it then because it's delicious, or because now you're confusing me. You're sending very mixed messages right now.
I'm just saying the cake's a lie. I've had it, but you know, there are consequences. But it's so good, so good.
See, this is what I'm talking. You're still sending mixed messages, so I should get it. Then is what you're telling me. But I don't know, because like I said, I haven't played the DLC in Dark Souls 2. So I mean, technically, I would still have like a bunch of new content in addition. But from my understanding, they also added new story content too. So it's like, I mean, it wouldn't be the exact same game. And six-player battle royale, guys,
Is that
six-player.
only for the new release? Because I know like some of the stuff that they added, they also patched into the old versions, right?
Well, the PS3 can't handle six people at once
Okay.
thing, so that's
So
a
there is like
PlayStation
new
4
gen
only.
only
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Because that's why I was kind of. Although, I mean, I wonder if it could it do that? I don't know. I don't know if it could because I know in it was either Dark Souls 1 or 2, whichever one had that forest covenant, where it's like if you enter into the forest, like it'll summon people that are in that covenant to stop you because you're like trespassing or whatever, and you can and they can summon like up to three people. So it's like
That
technically
sounds fun.
it would be four of you. So I'm like, would two more people be that much harder? So I don't know. So I don't know if it is a limitation or not, or they just did it because it's like, well, the PS4 can do it, so we're going to. So I don't know if that was just that, but yeah, that one's like PlayStation 4 exclusive thing or next gen exclusive. I forgot if Dark Souls 2 was multi-platform or not, but yeah, but yeah, but I'm kind of sad because it's like I only semi understand, or at least I think I semi understand the story that's going on, and then it's like there's not as much content as the previous games, and I'm just I don't know. I don't know. I haven't read any reviews on it, so I don't know if it got good reviews or not.
It did.
Oh, did it? Oh, well, I'm just disappointed.
Actually,
So
it's funny with the reviews. There's like a semi controversy where it's like some people are like, well, the reviews were written by people that enjoy the game, so they're clearly gonna enjoy like the game and give it a high score, even though they're not writing those reviews for people like me that have not played the game, and I go into that and I'm not sure what to expect, and you've gushed all over it, and I have a terrible experience because I don't like games like this because they're too hard.
yeah,
Biased review.
hmm,
They
interesting.
Can't show
write
my
a
reviews
good
for games
review
they
because
like.
they liked it,
Exactly.
and that's a problem.
Ah, hmm.
I
Yeah, because I don't
see.
know. I don't know, because like if someone were to ask or like to ask me or something, I probably would recommend Dark Souls 2 before I recommended Bloodborne. So I would say to like if you haven't played it to like get, well, I mean the new version's out now, so you can get the Scholar of the First Sin one. I would recommend that one before I tell people to get Bloodborne. But I don't know. I mean, I like I like the setting and everything and like the whole, using the guns and the trick weapons and stuff, but it's just like there's just so much more they could have done, and I'm just sad because they
Bloodborne
didn't.
2 RPG, Bloodborne 2, this year D3, announced.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if I
Yeah.
would pick it up though after this though, because I'd be I'm kind of underwhelmed. So I'm just like, would I even be excited for Bloodborne 2 if they announced it? I'm like, like when Dark Souls came out, I was like, yeah, Dark Souls 2, hells yeah. But then it's like they announced Bloodborne 2, I'm just like, yeah, I guess. So I don't know. I'm kind of yeah. I'm sad. I'm sad. But to each his own, I guess. But yeah. So I guess now that I finished it, I'm probably not gonna play it anymore. So
Back to Destiny.
no, I'm not that disappointed. But yeah, I'm just I'm sad because I did expect more. I was like super pumped for this game, and then I got it, and then it's just like, this is all, huh? That's all you guys got. So yeah, I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that it's their first PS4 game, so they didn't know what they were doing. So just gonna blame it on that, and hope that's the case. Because if not, then they have disappointed me, and I am sad now because I expect more from Software. So, eh, yeah. But yeah. But other than that, I played more Deus Ex Human Revolution. Is that
Yeah.
the someone for that one? So yeah, and I finally got out the first mission. So yay, progress. Slow but steady, guys. Slow but steady. So it's like it took forever, but I did it. I did it because I spent like I don't know how much time. I just kept. I was going through stuff, and then I was like, I could try to be stealthy, and then I just realized I couldn't like hack a lot of things because I didn't actually. I don't think I knew how to actually hack things. So I was like, I can wing it. How hard could it be? So I was like hacking through doors and stuff, and or at least attempting to. And then I realized I couldn't like hack turrets, and almost got myself riddled with bullet holes. So that almost ended terribly. And then I was just like, huh, this is a lot harder than it should be. So. I am just like terrible at the whole stealth thing. So eventually I was just like, you know what, F it. I'll just start shooting people in the head and call it a day because I can do that. So yeah, so a lot more people end up dying before I actually left that office because I was like, it's so much work to like stealth around here, and there's like so many people, and I'm like, I can't stealth knock out everybody. I only have so much energy, so I was like, well, some of you are gonna have to die, and
Or if it's just
well,
because you're stealthy doesn't mean you can't kill people. You can stealth kill. It's a thing.
you
I should kill my way through
can.
that game too.
But
I think it's
however,
faster.
I'm not very well. Well, the gun I have isn't like it doesn't have like a suppressor on it though. So it's like if I do shoot somebody, they're gonna hear it. So it's not like it's not the same as like either tranking them or like sneaking up and doing like the stealth kill kind of thing. And the stealth kills use energy anyway. So and I think I only have like two right now. So it's like I can't like because there was like a part where I think where you go downstairs and there's like six or seven of them or something inside that one place with all the computers or whatever. And it's like I tried to stealth at one point, but then I was like, crap, somebody's coming out of the bathroom. And then before I had a chance to like actually like get around the corner, he saw me. I was like, well, now everybody has to die. So I started
No.
shooting everybody.
I'm so sorry.
Like we could have avoided this. So now it's like now you all have to die. So I kind of ended up shooting all of them in the head because I was like, well, we. I mean, you can blame your friend for this because he can't.
Witnesses.
That's exactly what happened. It's like this could have been avoided had you waited in the bathroom a little bit longer, and now you just got everyone murdered. So
So
it's
yeah,
just like
RPG couldn't even make it through the first stage without killing anybody. So no
It's just
pacifism for
voice in
him.
your head.
in my defense, I gave it an honest try. I put in the effort to try to, but they wouldn't allow it. So I was like, well, now everyone has to die because you guys don't want to do this peacefully. Because it's like I actually didn't even realize that they could actually wake up the people that were not lethally killed. So there was a part where I was like, I trinked like a couple of guys, and then it was fine because it was only like a few of them. So I was like, okay, I'm doing fine so far. And then one of them goes over there and like kicks him. He's like, what are you doing? And then I see him wake up. I was like, ah, crap. So I was like, I didn't realize they could wake people up. So I was like, now I have to kill all of you. So it's like it was just like a cycle of murder going on because it's like I tried to do this nice, but it's like they won't let me do it. So it's like now you all have to die. So it's just needless to say, a lot of people died in that office because they couldn't stay down when they were supposed to. So I was forced to murder them, and it was just like we could have avoided all this, guys. We totally could have avoided all this, but they would not allow it. So it happened. So I was just kind of just making my way through there, and then I saved some people who were apparently like being held up by a bomb or whatever. And I was like, "What are you guys still doing in here?" There's like, I literally just walked in here, so the doors are clearly unlocked. So I don't know why you couldn't just like leave. Why are you hanging around the bomb? So that was weird. So I went in there and disarmed the bomb, despite the fact that they all could have just not stayed in there with said bomb. But I don't know. I guess
Maybe it was the guys with the guns in the building.
I don't know. I had killed most of them, so they couldn't have been much of an obstacle. It's just like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't even try the door or anything. They're kind of just in there, just like, oh my God, there's a bomb, guys. We're all gonna die. And I just walk in there. I'm like, so did no one think to like try the doors to escape or anything? We're just gonna sit in here and hope for the best. Because it's like if I hadn't walked in there, they would have just stayed in there with the bomb and possibly would have died. I don't know if it was a time bomb or if it was just like I don't know what kind of bomb it was, but they could have all been dead, and it just would have been their own faults because they didn't think to get the hell out of there. So yeah, there could have been a lot more dead civilians. But I saved all of them because they were the only ones who did get to survive in that level because everyone else had to die because they wouldn't let me not kill them. So yeah, that happened. And then I got to the one guy who was all I had to like talk him down or whatever. And I was like, am I gonna have to fight this guy because he has a civilian hostage? And it's like, am I gonna have to kill her too? Because I mean, obviously we can't just I can't like try to shoot him and then he might shoot her anyway. So if I kill her, he loses his leverage, and then I could just kill him, and then I would solve all my problems. You know, obviously. It's like we can try to talk this out first before we go the violent route and then manage to talk him down. But he got away though, so I
I
don't
like
know if
how
that's gonna.
RPG strategy as well. If this fails, I'll shoot the hostage and then I'll kill him.
Well, I mean, one way or the other,
That's
she's
the
probably
aimless
gonna.
way. Shoot the hostage.
I mean, at the end of the day, she's probably gonna die anyway. So I mean, how important could she really be? So it's fine. She should have left the office with everyone else or something. I don't know. Was she like the manager there or something? Is why she was staying behind, or she just like some random person he just took hostage? Because I mean, she should have known better. She should. But yeah, I talked him down, and he was like, "It's like cool. You make a good point. I'll just get out of here right now." Which I probably, in hindsight, I may have not. I probably should not have let him get away. But I mean, he didn't seem all that bad, so I was like, "What's the worst that could happen?" So he got away, and guess we'll see how that comes to bite me in the butt later. Um, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
He was
He
only
seemed
just
that.
holding a person at gunpoint hostage. He can't be that bad of a person.
Well, in his defense, there were a lot of officers surrounding the building, and he kind of leveraged. So I mean, he needed a way out, and she was convenient. So I mean, maybe he wasn't actually planning on killing her. He was just using her just like a thing, just like you know what? I have a hostage, guys. Don't come in here, or I'll kill her. And he could have just been bluffing. So I mean, it's totally cool. He seemed like a pretty reasonable guy. So I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's okay. Nothing can possibly go wrong from this. Nothing can possibly go wrong. So yeah. After that, I went back to the office and started breaking into everybody's offices and stuff and like hacking their computers because you know why not? I'm head of security, so it's like I have to be like security check guys, security check. So I have been just kind of been doing that right now. I haven't actually continued the story. I've just been breaking into all the offices because abuse of power and stuff. So yeah, fun times, fun times. So I don't know what to actually like spend my Paraxis. Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Something. I don't
cactus
know what to
points.
spin those on because I'm like, there's like quite a few augmentations, but I'm like, I don't know which ones to spin on because it's like I don't actually know how I'm going to end up playing this game because I clearly can't play it stealthily, so I probably shouldn't waste them in any of my stealth augmentations because I'm going to end up just killing everybody anyway. So I was thinking of just like doing hacking and strength or something. So that might be what I end up doing, so I can like punch through walls or whatever and snap people in half. Hopefully, which would be awesome if you could do that. Can you move those turret thingies? Because they have it where they have a weight on them, and
After
it's like
you get your arms where you can lift heavy things, you can.
that is gonna be awesome. I'm going to do that. Yes, that is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna beef up my strength and my hacking ability so that way I can just like hack a bunch of turrets and just move them around into like little death traps, and then yeah, that's gonna be fun. I mean, not for the people who are going to be walking into said death traps, but it'll be fun for me. So that's all that matters. So yes, we shall see how that goes. Which is probably a good idea anyway, because it seems like some of the hacking thingies, like those worms or whatever, move like really fast in some of those. And it's like, oh, that's not good. And I don't know how common the like stop worms and stuff are, so I didn't want to like waste them and then lose them, and then it's like later on it's like, yeah, you can't get these anywhere else. So it's like crap. So yeah, so I just think I'm gonna work on hacking and strength and go from there. But yeah, and yeah, it's pretty much it on DSX, I think, for now. And and finally, I've been I picked up Final Fantasy Type Zero again and started making my way through that kind of. And I think I might be on like, well, I don't know if it's sure. It might be like the final dungeon thingy because it's like the way they made it seem when we were like going on the mission made it seem like it was like really final because they were just like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you really sure you want to do this?" They're like, "Because you know, once you leave, you can't go back, and you won't." And they're like, "You can't use summons here. You can't do this." And I was like, "Okay, this seems like pretty final." So I might want to
We're talking
start.
about what we're gonna do after
yeah, it's just like it's like I don't know. This might be pretty final because they made kind of a big deal about this. Like, if you leave now, like, just know you can't come back. It's not happening. It's not. You're just like, this is it. This is it. So I think this might be the final. I mean, especially since like everything kind of went to hell after the previous chapter. So it is a day that ends with Y for them. So of course everything went to crap. So it's just like
A
one
day
thing or another.
ends with war.
So it's just like, oh, is everything just going terribly? Usual day for us. It's cool because it's like one of their teammates like collapsed into a coma. The other one's like missing in action, but I mean, apparently he's still alive because they can still remember him, so he's not dead at least. But it's like no one knows where he is. So I don't know. And then it's like everything is just going wrong for them right now, and I don't know. Poor Class Zero. They try so hard for nothing, for nothing. It's like I don't know. I don't know why they continue to do it. So, yeah, things are just going to crap, and then everyone's still thinking that whole Tempest Finalis thing. He's got Finalis, Finis, whatever the hell it's called. It's like people are still like, yeah, no, it's cool. Once they find the Agato thing, we're totally good, guys. But it's like, yeah, I feel like that's not happening. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's I don't know. It's not a very happy story right now. So I don't know. I don't know. But partway through said dungeon that I went to though, because there's like a lot of weird stuff going on. Because you have to like do like these trials, where like to get through it, you have to like do certain conditions. It's similar to like the SO missions, but it's like in order to pass like through certain rooms, you have to like get to go through a portal twice without getting hit, and then there's like another one where you have to like let the flame guide you or some crap that they were talking about. I just kind of just killed everything in the room and hope for the best. And then it's just like you just there's like these different things for you to get through and everything. And then it's like there was one part where it asked you like to make a choice kind of thing. So I don't know if that affects the ending or not. But I mean, actually, now I'm kind of curious because yeah, because I mean the choice they ask you to make is hmm, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can say what it is for spoiler reasons or not. So it's kind of, I don't know. But you do get to make one, and I chose one, and it continued the story. So I'm assuming the other one may not have continued the story. So, or maybe they're just like two branching paths. So now I'm curious. So now I kind of want to go back, but then that requires me to do a lot more work, and yeah, I'm allergic. So it's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Alrighty. So I've also been playing Human Revolution Director's Cut, and I got pretty far actually. So I think I don't remember where I was at last time, but I did where I'm at now. I mean, actually, we went back to Detroit after China, so that's where I'm at. And then
Spoilers.
what? I'm not saying what happened. I'm just saying the locations.
Yeah, but I didn't know you go to China in this game.
Oh, well, Asia. You go to Asia, and I'm back in the U.S.
It's
now.
too, it's too late.
Why I went somewhere else, but I guess I won't say it. So, spoilers. Yeah. Um, so, in between then and now, I have got my Jensen. He's running full steam now because I got so many upgrades, and I've been, unlike RPG, stealthily sneaking through, knocking dudes out, hacking terminals, and getting money to buy
I
stuff.
tried.
And
I tried.
and then it's cool this time because the director's cut and like the boss fights are different. With the yeah, I did like the first two ones. So the first one, there's actually this part where you can turn the turrets on the enemy. You don't have to you don't have to fire a bullet. It's cool. I didn't have to fire a single shot. Like I just used the turrets in the room to my advantage. And then the second one, it was neat because I didn't know what it was trying to get me to do because I was like, it has like these coolant pumps that you can turn after you hack this terminal, and I was like, what's going on here? Is it even damaging the boss in this room? And then I wasn't sure, but then I just ran up with my tranquilizer gun, and like she was invisible, and I was invisible because I finally got I'd finally got my upgrades to my stealth, and so I just popped her one in the head with the trank round, and that was it. But it was weird because like it cued the cutscene, but it was like weird because it's still the old cutscene, so there's no like pacifist versus action mode or like killing cutscenes. So they don't have new cutscenes in this one, so it's the same outcome, which is weird. They didn't change them. So that happened. So far, so good on no kills, and got my pacifism, no alerts as well. So yeah, unlike the Jaguar that is RPG.
Hey, I tried. They brought this upon themselves. Damn it.
Maybe once you get more augmentations, you can you'll be more enhanced to your stealth
Well,
abilities.
I'm not putting any like points into stealth
Oh,
though.
well,
So it's
never
like
mind then.
I don't know because like I don't know if it's hard to get points or not. So I've just been saving them for like the other stuff I want to put them into just in case. Because it's like if you don't, because like by the end of the game, is it possible for you to just have all of them all at
Not
once, or
all
do
of
you have
them.
to
You
choose?
get
Oh,
like
okay, see,
most of them,
so yeah,
but not all
I
of
don't
them.
want to. I don't want to do that, and then it's just like, oh no, I used them all in the skill that I'm terrible at. So that was smart. So yeah, I'm just gonna count on my hacking and my ability to punch through things. Because yeah,
Because I was gonna go for I was getting confused when I was playing. So I was like, well, I usually put my points into my invisibility early on, but I was like, I'm doing good without it, so I'll just keep going until I feel like it. And so I had like no invisibility for the longest time, which is like way different than how I usually play. Because I'm usually like invisibility, just sneak by people, and then so that was cool. And I just put everything into hacking, so then I was able to like hack more terminals at higher level, like earlier on. So I was like hacking, and then battery battery. So when I would get my invisibility, I'd have more charge for it, and I'd be able to knock out more dudes without having to worry about, oh no, I don't have any batteries. So now I've got it into the armor, so I can take more damage if I do get into a fight and run away or whatever. And then you also can like have it so it the electric, like when there's electric stuff on the floor, it won't damage you, it'll just go through you. So that's cool. And then my inventory is increased in size, so I have like full inventory now, and I can also lift heavy things, which I probably should have did earlier because there's some parts where it's like, oh, if I had that earlier, I probably could have gotten to this one spot where I saw this opening, but I couldn't lift it, so whatever. And then I want to put in the see-through wall thing, so yeah. But then I had to put in I had to get the social augmentation because I had to like whatchamacallit, dialogue choice this dude out of dying. So I was like, well, I'll put points into this so I can get this XP here, because I know I'll be able to get some XP eventually from how awesome I'm doing. So just on the part when you go back to the US and some stuff, and then we'll be going somewhere else. And then I think there's like, let's see, where I'm at now, I think there's like 2 more stages. Yeah, there's 2 more stages. Actually, I think there's like a DLC stage somewhere in there. I'm not sure if they have the missing link that's integrated into the campaign, so I guess we'll find out. So if that's there, that's 4 more stages, and I'm done. But yeah, Deus Ex still good. And then like it's great because like I'm playing it, and like as I'm playing it, I'm like thinking like, okay, should I cross through the vent, or should I do this thing here, or should I like try to sneak around this way? And like every time I get to somewhere, I'm like always trying to approach it from multiple angles, as opposed to like, oh, just kill this dude and walk, like, go by him like any other typical shooter. But it's like this way, it's like, I'm trying to like pacifist A and then B stealthy. So it's like, okay, let me like just sit here, observe their patterns as they are in patrol, and then try to see where their blind spots are, and then like knock the dude out, drag him away so it doesn't get seen, and then make sure the camera can't see me. And just like just like build these Rube Goldberg machines in my head of like, okay, I'll do this, this, and this, and it all works, and it's like, yes, it's so good. And then yeah, I can always just like think of how am I gonna get through here, and like I'll be like, can I do this? And then like, of course I can. It's Deus Ex, so it's like, yeah, you can totally do it. And just it's great, it works. It's like so awesome.
when in doubt, just shoot things.
It's faster.
It is. It is.
But if the enemy doesn't know you're there, they never see you coming. It's so much more devastating and like empowering.
If you shoot
like,
them in the
yeah.
face soon enough, they never see you coming too.
No,
Otherwise,
and they won't see you after either.
whatever. But yeah,
I just feel like it should be easier for you to be able to stealth, because if it was, then there wouldn't be so many bodies piling up, and it's just like a lot of this could be avoided, guys. This could be so avoided. So I don't know who's gonna clean up this mess, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of blood all over the place now too. So.
But I've been trying to also stream it on my with my shadow play on my video card, but it's not always working, so I'm not sure what is the problem yet. And then also yesterday when I was streaming, I played for like 6 hours or something crazy, and I like streamed it, but only like 2 hours of it got archived. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I still don't know what the issue is with my video card. So I'm still trying to shadow play, but I'm gonna try the Raptor, or the whatever it's called now, client, the AMD whatever gaming blah blah blah. So I'm gonna try that. I guess I'll try it after I'm done with Deus Ex. That way I can like just try a different game with it, and then see if that works. Because I'm like, man, I don't want to go back to OBS because OBS is like, it works, but it's weird. 'Cause you have to like, start it outside the game and then go back into the game. It's not as convenient or smooth. If only there was some sort of like share play alternative on PC, but I guess I'll have to wait. So whatever. Maybe the Steam machines. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, besides that, the rhythm, but nothing. I think I'm almost level 99 with every character, so I got like a few more, and I'll be level 90 with all the characters, and then I'll see what I'm gonna do after that. Because I don't really know if I want to reset them and then re-level them again, because that took a long time, and I almost got like I don't have all the achievements, but I have like the majority of them, because I have 4 stars out of the 5 stars on the thingy, and it's like this is your progress. Even though I doubt anything happens when you get all of them, so cause I'm pretty sure I've unlocked everything, or like almost everything except for like your little nicknames and the characters you can use as your logo on your profit cards. Besides that, oh dude, Mercenary Kings, this game, it keeps on giving, because I keep thinking, dude, this game is just, because like once you get to a certain point and like it's like the same mission types over and over, it's like, oh, this game has nothing new. But then you get different enemy types, because I got to the where am I at now? After the skyscraper district, there's like this mission I had to do where I had to go back to one of the old stages, but the enemies were all like fire type and their like uniforms were different. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's just gonna like keep just cycling through the old enemies. But then it's cool because I finally got this like new batch of enemies that look completely different and have different behaviors. So yeah, it just keeps throwing new stuff at you. And then like the boss or the mini bosses are cool too, because oh man, it's so good. Because like there's this one where it's like this dog, I think it was a dog or a cat, and it jumped in this mech thing and like this anime startup sequence, and you had to fight it. And it was an optional boss, so it's like I didn't have to fight it, but I was like, oh dude, I think I can kill it. So I killed it, and I got this item off of it, and that was pretty cool. And then there's also this giant, I don't know, all the mini bosses in this game are really good because they have like really good attack patterns, and they keep you on your toes. And there's this one I fought where it would I'm trying to think what it did, because it did something like really evil, where it would like attack, but oh yeah, it would like, it had like this thing where it like would jump, and like you knew like when it jumped, you could roll under to get to the other side of the screen, but then it would like do a jump where it didn't go forward or back, it would just like do a neutral jump. I think that's what it's called in a fighting game. It's like a neutral jump, you just jump up and like don't do anything. And so it was like trying to like fake you out or like bait you into like rolling under it so it could crush you, and I was like, oh, that's so good. It's like just really good boss mechanics and enemy design, and just so good. Mercenary Kings is just, it gets better and better. It almost got me to like a rage quit moment though, because like the time limits are getting lower, or like 2 of them were like really low on 2 like the recent missions I did. I was like, dude, it's like 4 minutes and 5 minutes. I was like, oh, I just like run through here and not shoot anything, and it's like really different compared to like all the stuff I'd been doing before we had like plenty of time. And so when I was pushed for time, I was like, it was just, I think it was that on top of some other stuff of like I just had like a crappy day at work, and like it was like that on top of like the time limit thing, on top of like the enemies and like the stage, and like had been playing over and over, and I was like getting to my point. I was like, okay, it's not your fault, Mercenary Kings. I'm sorry. It's not you. It's me. I'll just But then I got past the mission. I was like, okay, that's it. That's the end of the stream. Until next time. So I was like, ooh, because currently, yeah. And then that's the cool thing is like I finally worked out my my schedule now. It's like Friday in the AM through Monday in the AM, I stream Mercenary Kings or whatever game I'm playing on my backlog on my PS4 with share button, and then in the afternoon I'll play whatever I'm streaming that I'm playing, and then on Tuesdays it's like whatever's my main game. But I don't have a main game, so until Project Cars, because I'm not going back to Disney after that crap until the DLC.
Just F it.
So yeah, F it. Like it's just like a roulette of what I feel like playing. So it was Batman, it was Deus Ex, and after I finish that, it'll be some Zone of the Enders, because I feel like playing Zone of the Enders, because we're not going to get Zone of the Enders 3. Well, I guess maybe rumors are not so true. Maybe Hideo is not been let go, but we'll see. I still don't think we'll see it. So whatever.
Well, they might still make it even if he's not there. It just
I mean, I guess I
wanna
may
play that
Zone
one,
of the
though.
Enders under the
saying it wouldn't be as awesome,
guidance of him.
but they might still do it just for the sake of cashing in, because people will be like, oh, it's on the Enders, and they'll forget that what's his face is already gone, and then it's just like, oh no, I got tricked.
You've already forgotten his face.
It's true. See, We've already forgotten his
So yeah, I
face.
downloaded that to my PS3. But then I think I'm gonna go ahead and play Mortal Kombat 9, even though it's late to the party, like super late to the party. But I just want to play it, so I'm like, okay, well, let's see what I have to look forward to whenever 10 drops in price.
You are late to because even I've already played 9.
Because I was having issues with my thingy, but then I figured out I just had to, if I just switch TVs, it would work just fine. So I was like, oh, well. But then if I do that, the sound isn't as good. But whatever, I'll figure something out. I think that's all I've been playing. Yeah, that's all I've been playing. So we can move on to Tropical's question time.
Cool. It's sort of a brief discussion because I think there's a lot of news this week. But
Nice.
Ultimate Editions of games, are those now the releases that we wait for? I mean,
Ultimate
basically,
Editions?
the way I've been thinking about it is instead of thinking is that, oh, okay, we're buying a $60 game and then we're buying a season pass for $25 to $40 and then we're getting all this content later, and then later they release an Ultimate Edition which has everything, which is usually like $50 or $60. So another way to look at it is that games now are just delayed a long time. There'll be an initial release date, which has some stuff, and then later you'll get the full game.
So you're saying like games this generation cost us like $120 as opposed to the $60 price tag that they've been claiming that we get?
Well, I guess the question is like, do we just stop waiting for these initial release dates now? Like, is the real release date for these games now when the Ultimate Edition comes out?
Not every game. Because, it's like, oh, I guess, okay, okay, for me, it's like two answers. It's like, not every game, and then some games are, I want to play them so much that I will get them day one. So, but then it's like, you have the caveat of asterisk, but if there is a season pass, I might wait, because I'd rather have all this stuff at a later time at a reduced price versus getting it all and then paying up the nose for add-ons.
So,
'cause I think
does
like
Project Cars have a season pass?
I don't believe it does.
Does Batman have a season pass?
No.
probably does. But it's I don't know,
I'm assuming it will actually,
But that's the
but I
weird
guess
thing.
we
Like,
haven't
I would,
heard.
I would imagine if the game is like that close to like release, they would have already said something about it.
well,
So
it's possible
would be
that they're
very
trying to trick
deceptive.
people like you
'Cause I
to
haven't pre-ordered it
actually
yet, so
buy
I'm
the
still in the
game.
clear. Because I'm like, well,
Oh,
I remember that. I remember that Harley Quinn. So yeah, not forgetting that.
because it's like it's one of those things like if they announce ahead of time that they're gonna have a season pass, then you already know that
There
there's
will
stuff
be an
that
Ultimate Edition.
yeah, exactly. So it's like if you're telling me ahead of time that there's already gonna be a bunch of stuff that I'm gonna have to already pay for anyway, I could just wait until you inevitably do whatever game of the year super ultra edition or whatever that you're going to release later and then just wait as opposed to just being like, oh yeah, maybe they will release like so much content that they can't do like an ultimate edition and it's just going to be like a constant release of DLC or something, which it probably wouldn't be because I mean they can't get more money that way, so that would make sense. So
So
it's like
do you think it's a legit way to think about it where so you're waiting for this game and it's coming out, like June 1st or whatever, and then today they announce, oh, there's going to be a season pass for it, which will have like 4 new whatever and like 6 new whatever, and you'll get these over the next 9 to 12 months. Do you like most people look at that and be like, oh, whatever, I'm just not going to buy them, or other people are like, oh, they're holding back stuff to release slowly over time so we don't sell our games? Or can you just look at it and be like, wow, the game just got pushed back a year?
I don't
I
think
mean,
you could do that.
No?
You could play the game, you just don't get the content that's extra. Like,
I
and
think it
like the
depends
base
on
game, I hate to say that, like the experience that you have that you're having is like it's depending on whatever the extra content is, it's not affected by that.
Yeah, because I think depending on what this season pass is actually like including, because it's like it's one of those situations where like some, I guess for like some DLC for certain games, it's like if it's just like stuff like challenge rooms or something that's not like adding necessary. It's not like necessary stuff for the game itself. It's kind of just
Yeah,
like
if it's like not
extra.
narrative or
And
gameplay content, if it's just like add-on crap like costumes or weapons or crap like that.
yeah, I mean, it's like usually you don't have to worry about the game being quote unquote pushed back a year or whatever. Because like with stuff like that, it's like it's just extra stuff. But it's like if it is just like it's just going to be like chunks of game where it's like almost like the game itself is technically episodic at this point, and it's just like then you might want to wait and be like, okay, this is not a full game, and you're just giving me something that you can milk me dry for later. So I'm gonna wait, and the joke will be on you. So it's
Well,
it might.
so let's look at a few of the ones that have come out. For example, like Drive Club. Drive Club it was $60, and then the season pass I think was $25, I think. And the base game was one sort of longer tour, which is can't remember. I think it's like 200 some stars, 250 some stars that you can get, and then the DLC tours have been like 100 to 150 stars, I think, each one, and there's been 6 of them.
I don't know what that means though because I haven't played Drive Club.
So you get three stars per tour. So like that's how many sort of events are in. So there was like a bigger tour that came with the game. But then now, like at this point, there are actually more stars you can earn outside of the main game
Then you
that
could
all
from the
came with
main
the
game
season
itself.
pass.
Hmm.
So was Drive Club half a game when it came out, and now
That doesn't sound
eventually
like
See, Tropical,
if they
that's
ever
I don't think you can look at it as like half a game because that's add-on. It's like that's why it's called downloadable content. Is like you're adding on to what's already
well,
there when it comes out day one. Like
it's kind of hard to say for like games like that though, because Drive Club is what like it's a
racing game.
some kind of racing game, right? So it's like for games like that,
there are
it's kind of
cars in it.
yes, I would hope so with a game called Drive Club, but it's like for games like that, it's kind of hard to say because well, for one, I don't know if like how the campaign plays or anything, but it's like with racing games, hmm, uh, can uh, can you like actually complete them kind of thing? Like I feel like
Sort of. So, like narratively, you're thinking, right? There's nothing lost from not putting all of those new tours in with the original tour.
kind of because I mean hmm, it's kind of hard to explain because it's like I don't play a lot of racing games, but I'm assuming like a lot of times when they add DLC or whatever, it's like new cars and new tracks and stuff like that. And I mean, you're not really losing anything by not getting them in those situations because it's like you may still get like hundreds of cars and races and stuff in the base game, but it's like the DLC actually, like Tekken was saying, is just like actually just add-on stuff. It's not anything that you're not actually missing out on anything. So the season pass in that regard would be, I guess, I don't know. It's weird with racing games because like games and genres where you can't technically like complete them kind of thing. It's like is there gonna because I don't think they would release like an ultimate version of like Drive Club or something
You don't
unless they
think
already
so?
have. In which case, then it's like, just kidding. But
Mm.
because it just seems like because you wouldn't really have to because like I said, if you can't really with racing games, you could just keep adding tracks and stuff. You don't have to release like a game where it's like the definitive edition of it. It's like just it would just be weird
Well, I mean,
because
presumably at some point the developers would be like, I've been working on this game for 15 years. I don't want to make any more stuff for it.
I think by then they would have just made like sequels. They wouldn't have been still adding like DLC.
All
It's
right,
like
so let's
Actually,
say
that's an interesting like concept. Is like you could have a game, and then it's just supported through DLC until the sequel comes out, and then there by like if it's like years in the making, then you can't really make the argument of like, oh, they should have all been here on day one. It's like, well, we've been like adding this stuff over like years, dude. Like
so
we would have
like
had the
that's
time.
basically the model that Call of Duty and Battlefield have now. It's they fill the year in between with DLC for the game that they released previously,
Mm,
right?
Yeah.
I have no
So,
idea.
well, I think like Call of Duty and Battlefield, it's sort of the same deal as Drive Club, where it is sort of just add-on stuff.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, because their season pass, they
Do
don't
they ever
ever add
release
like
Ultimate Editions
campaign stuff,
though?
do they? Or
well, so Battlefield did sort of like you could buy so $60 on launch day, and then it was $50 for the premium pass, and then later they released a premium edition of Battlefield 4, which came with the premium pass, and I think it was I want to say it was like $60 or $70 when it came out, and now I think you can get it
oh,
for like 30. But it was so like you didn't actually it wasn't sort of everything on the disc, but it was like everything for one price that was either the same or it was like around the price of the game at launch when it like none of that other stuff existed.
mm,
Call of Duty, I think they've done I think Ghosts there was an edition that came with or maybe it was Black Ops 2. No, it was Ghost. Ghost came with an edition that included the first DLC. So they never did an Ultimate Edition, but they started adding like little bits of it into boxed versions.
mm. Although, it's weird that they would do that though, considering like those series are like annual or whatever. So it's like to make like a super edition, like it's kind of just like, well, the new one's gonna be out soon, isn't it? Why am I bothering? So I don't know. That would be weird because
We'll
then
say like Mass Effect. So Mass Effect 3 had several DLC. They
mhm,
were story based. All the multiplayer DLC was free.
yes,
Um, so yeah, in that case, like,
I don't think they ever released like a
was
ultimate
there an
edition of that
Ultimate
though.
Edition for Mass Effect 3?
There's a
I don't think
DLC that
so.
has all the DLC bundled.
I think that's a DLC bundle though. That I don't think they
Yeah,
never I don't think they've ever released the game itself where it's been like the game and then like all the DLC included
yeah.
kind
There's
of
no
thing.
version of
It's,
that.
I don't think that exists.
But is that a situation where it's like all that stuff is add-on, or is it, are you losing out when you don't have it? If you buy
Mm,
a version that has all that stuff, assuming that one exists, like, is that a better version than the one that doesn't have them?
mm, it's weird because like the DLC seems to be like episodes where it's like this is another adventure that happened while you were doing this thing.
Kind
It's
of
not.
like
It doesn't.
guiding games
It's
or
like it's
something.
more like a tie-in story versus like, oh, this is super important to the plot of the main story. So it's like you don't have to have played it, but if you do, or I guess, well, but then like Citadel DLC is still weird because it's very fan servicey. So it's like that one was cool, but they all have like their own little nice touches, but I wouldn't say they're essential to like enjoy the game.
Okay, so what about Destiny?
What about Destiny?
Does that one, like House of Wolves and The Dark Below, without those, you're losing out a lot of the game, right?
Yeah.
So there would like an ultimate edition of that one does make sense, right?
See, Trioptical,
Mm,
the weird thing about this is like it's like I'm trying to think of it in terms of like a disc product, and it's like does it? It's like it's hard to like separate the disc version versus like a digital copy because like digital makes sense because you can do all this stuff and like add it all together. But like if you have to
Mm.
re-release the disc copy with all this stuff, it's a weird balance for the publisher, I guess. Because it's like, well, you already came out with the game, now we're gonna come out with it again. Well, I guess not come out with the game, but like just stamp another disc with more stuff, and then try to keep parity between the game that is now versus the game that it was however many months ago or years ago when it came out.
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I don't know the answer to this one. I think actually, yeah, it's gonna be a mix that depends because what Tekken was saying about Destiny, there are going to be games where they're never going to release an Ultimate Edition because their game, or yeah, what RPG was saying too, where it's like there will be games that will just constantly have stuff added to them. So you'll never have this Ultimate Edition where it's everything. It's just going to be like Destiny, I think, is going to be one of those games. World of Warcraft is one of those games. DC Universe Online is just unrecognizable from the early days to now. Yeah, and then the payment model's changing too. Like, one of the interesting things that I saw during which we'll get to in the news, the Bungie reveal of the Reef. They talk about the Dark Below and House of Wolves as year one, Destiny year one. So, what does that mean? Is that it? That's the end? Or in the once we get to the context of that, you'll see what I mean.
Oh man, that game.
Do you want to get into that now? Go into news?
Sure,
Did you watch it?
Trioptical, why
RPG, did you
not?
watch it?
Watch what?
Okay, you didn't watch it. So, like, they're doing a weekly reveal of all the new stuff in House of Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
The next expansion coming out May 18th for Destiny. And this week was about the new social space, the Reef, and then how your equipment is going to carry over. So actually, I watched it today, and I was like, oh, it's actually pretty exciting for me. Because they are allowing all equipment, I'm pretty sure just legendaries and exotics, but all of those equipment can be upgraded to level 34 light and 365 damage, I think is the...
Yeah.
And they referred to it...
I just didn't watch the videos.
Oh, yeah, okay. They referred to upgrading to that level as the maximum of year one. And so, like, it does sort of suggest to me that this is the end, and either Destiny 2 is coming out, or whatever it's going to be, when they abandon last-gen consoles later this fall.
They had the rate coming out, like, so it's like their year one may be like the end of this particular season, and like they'll be starting like a new year of content or something for the game, and before they do their Destiny 2 reveal that they'll have to do. So
I'm pretty sure by year's end, like, the last gen was going to get left behind. There's like, we've gone as far as we've gone. Here's another consolation, whatever, something, and then goodbye. Get yourself a new console.
Didn't they say they would support did they ever say that they would support PS3 and 360 versions for 10 years, or was it just like, oh, the game itself is 10 years?
Yeah, the game
they only
itself.
said that before we knew it was called Destiny, they just said it's a 10-year deal.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they were planning on that, but it's like some of these things that they announced, or like the upgrade system, everything. It just feels like things that should have been implemented back in the Dark Below. Because it's like when I was reading I was like, this would have been a lot more useful back when you implemented the first batch of DLC. Because it's like the ability to like upgrade your. Because I remember like we were talking about before, when we were just like how all the raid gear is pretty much all the same for everybody. So it's like you don't have that option to just look how you want to. It's like if you want to be a certain light level, you have to pretty much like look the same. But it's like with the ability to just go ahead and upgrade all your equipment, it's like now you can wear whatever the hell you want, and it's like you could still be at the level cap and be fine, and then everybody could just have their own characters and stuff. So it's not we're all just the same character with the same weapons and stuff, because that's pretty much what the game forces you to do. So it's like there's some and like the material exchange thing. When I saw that, I was like, this I don't know. That would have been like probably like the most important thing they probably should have added, because like when we kept getting like the stupid Ascended shards and crap, because like they're useless at that point after the first DLC came out. So it's like having like the trade-in for that kind of stuff would have been great the first time around, because then now you're not like piled up with a bunch of crap you can't use in your vault space, which was limited. I guess they upgraded that recently though, so that may not be as much of an issue. But it's like there's just like so many things that this is like stuff that could have been done like ahead of time, and it could have just focused on doing something else because it's like so many missed opportunities for that game, and they just it's like you're so late to the. It's like why did you have to wait until you get like all the complaints and everything for stuff not being in it before you actually go ahead and do something like that? And it's like this is stuff that you should have thought about ahead of time. It's like well maybe it's like we're introducing new equipment and stuff. Maybe we should think about a way to ease people into like the different materials, or make it so that you can like just upgrade the stuff you already have, so you don't have to wait for stupid random drops in these raids and hope you get the piece of equipment you need, as opposed to getting like boots 15 weeks in a row before you finally get the damn chest piece you needed. And it's just like I don't know, it's they yeah 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 glad I don't play that game anymore. Just Destiny. Seriously.
It is sort of weird. Like a lot of the things that they're talking about change wise, it feels like if they well, I guess Bungie is independent, so they're not actually under the Activision banner. But under the Activision banner, Blizzard exists, and they have been making sort of a similar type game where you grind to get gear, and there's that loop.
Are
They've
we
been
not
making
calling
that
it?
for
We're not calling it an MMO.
I
Is
think
that what's happening right now?
decades Well, there's like World of Warcraft and Diablo 2 had that as well. So it's just, they've been making that type of game for a long time. And Bungie, just the way that it feels like they looked at it as like, we're gonna invent everything on our own and try to figure it out on our own. And now that House of Wolves is going to arrive, and basically where they will have arrived is where World of Warcraft and Diablo and all those games have been for the past 10 years. Like, so, if you had looked at other games, maybe we wouldn't have to go through this. Like, even, if you go back
with your internals.
yeah, ask Activision's like, yeah, you guys are Blizzard too, so help us out here. And we're trying to understand why this is. And like, nope, they just did it on their own. Because yeah, like the thing about everyone looking the same in the end game is like, really, you guys never thought about that? It's like, well, shaders and bonds and marks and stuff. So those make you slightly different. Everyone basically wants the same gun. It's like, why? It's like, well, because that's the one that you made good, and all the other ones are just kind of. But now, I was looking at it. I was like, oh, it's really exciting now because that's what I wanted. In the beginning, that's why I went for the Iron Banner gear, because like, well, everyone else has the raid gear, so I just want the Iron Banner gear to be like, hey, no one else plays PvP, and I played a ton of PvP, so I have totally different gear than you guys have. But now it's like, oh, you can, it actually makes sense for me to go and get some Future War Cult gear, because it will look totally different, because everyone else, like, who else is in that cult? I forget who was in that cult. But yeah, not everyone was going for the same factions. And now all the factions have different gear, and it all looks different. It's like, oh, that's really cool. And like having the guns all look different instead of, they said, they admitted this, like all of the faction guns were just paint jobs on other guns. So now the faction guns will actually be different than the other ones. And then they've added a whole bunch of different perks and stuff to guns and equipment. So
to be able to re-roll them if you don't like them.
Yeah, now the gunsmith actually has a job after after level 20.
Because he was kind of just there.
He's gonna reforge stuff for you.
He's like, guys, come back to me. I'm useful again. I'm useful again.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of cool. It's just like they've given uses to a lot of things that sort of became useless as you played more and more. And now it's like, oh wow, the gunsmith can do stuff, and the speaker can do stuff that isn't entirely cosmetic. And
although it kind of seems like that would make Xur like unnecessary though, because now.
Well, Xur is the only place you can buy exotic weapons, I suppose. Still,
Mm, but it's like I don't know, because like you can already get the drops and everything, and can't the speaker like upgrade exotics or something now, or some crap like that? So
no. Well, so it's still kind of like Tekken with his thousands of shards or whatever. You can now turn those into thousands of energy if you want, or vice
Ooh.
versa. It just costs, I think it's like 50 glimmer,
it's only
and
50
then it's
glimmer,
a
but
one-to-one trade, and then you can
you can
trade
also like
shards
trade
for
them in for
glimmer
glimmer
too.
though. Yeah.
What?
Yes. Apparently, you can do like it's like one for like 250 glimmer or something. So you can
Oh
do like
man.
bunches of it, or you can like trade them in for
Oh
most of the light and
man.
stuff too.
That's
So it's
that's like the
like,
best news I've heard since you guys started talking about this new thing.
It's like
yeah,
all the currencies can be not exchanged for one
Glimmer is
another.
such a
So like
pain
Ascendant and Radiant
to
are still
farm.
separate.
It's not even worth it. I'm just like, ugh, I need Glimmer all the time. But now it's like, I have so many shards. So many.
You can buy
but now you can
glimmer
have
with
them
your
all. You could buy
shards.
glimmer. Yeah, that's pretty much what you could do. You can buy glimmer now. Something that we were also complaining about before.
You can now buy money.
It's a farm. I could just buy your money, but it's like, yeah,
um,
it's and it's
so
even and it's
that's
cheaper
pretty
with
cool.
him too, because which also makes Eris kind of pointless for the Radiant and or the Radiant stuff, because she asked for a lot more, and for him it's just like, nope, just 50 glimmer, and that's fine. You don't need like black wax idols and 500 glimmer per trade in and stuff, and so it's like, you also don't have to be ranked up with him, so there's that too.
Cheap. But yeah, like I like the faction thing. Now I have incentive to go play other factions or not. But you know, I can get entirely different sets of gear, and you know, being able to re-roll things means that I don't have to carry just this giant collection of the same gloves or whatever
Yes,
for
and
different
hoping that they have like,
situations.
yeah, because that was one of the things. Cause it's like, well, these have better discipline, or this have this. It's like, curses. So yeah, that would have been nice to have before.
Yep.
Because I think before I stopped playing, I was like I was actually trying to level up in Dead Orbit for whatever weird reason, and I was like, it's too much work, and I don't get anything out of it because all their gear is too low now. So
Yeah, but now you can like upgrade all that stuff to max level, and so now everyone can look unique. I
too
think that's
little,
pretty
too
exciting.
late.
The Dead Orbit, or not Dead Orbit, the Reef, the Queen's, what's it going to be called? The House of Wolves stuff is all going to be run by the Queen's
Like Queen's
emissary, I guess. That
Bane or
lady
something.
who showed up for the Queen's Wrath, and she has all of the Queen's Wrath stuff that you could get back in the day, but it's totally different bounties. And
Oh, that would be
I'm
nice if
not.
they added that. New bounties. That's like, yeah, one other
You know, it's
thing.
funny because they asked that during the stream. It's like, are there going to be new bounties, or is it just going to be the same ones? And they neglected to answer. They went off on something
I'll
else,
believe it when I see it.
and then didn't say if there was going to be new bounties. So actually, I don't think there's going to be new bounties. I think, you know, there's going to be the Queen's Wrath, different type of bounties, but like the regular bounties are still going to be the regular bounties.
Dude, whatever.
Yeah, that's sad. And then, well, I didn't know this, but like apparently the Trials of Osiris is
Weekly.
a PvP thing.
What?
That's weekly.
I thought one of these was PvE.
Yeah,
The arena is
prison
Of the
prison
Elders.
of elders is
Effing PvP.
is
the
PvE.
Osiris one is a tournament of some sort, because I think that's the one you had to do to get like the Fate of All Fools thingy, was
Yeah, it's
like
like
that exotic bounty
other
one. So
stuff.
there's like that just hadn't existed yet, is what it was. But it's like some kind of tournament mode or something.
Yeah,
So,
it's basically they didn't reveal what it was, but they said that it's gonna run the weekends every weekend. So it's gonna be Friday till the reset is when those are gonna run, and then Pillars of Prison of Elders is supposed to be. They're calling it raid level stuff, but it's not a raid. So who knows what that's gonna be.
it's just gonna be a horde mode.
You know, actually, a lot of people said, "Oh, it's just going to be horde mode," and they asked that, "Is it just going to be a horde mode?" And then they said, we're trying to add variety, which, and maybe it's just me being very limited and thinking is like Destiny is very limited. So, if it's more interesting than a horde mode, then it's a strike. So why isn't it called a strike? And if it's a horde mode,
Probably it's a strike.
just shooting enemies.
Trioptical totally called it.
And then the other thing is like horde mode is basically what you always do in the story mode. So like, how are they going to add that variety? What does it mean to be raid-like but not a raid?
A strike. 'Cause that's pretty much exactly what it is.
Who knows? I guess we have no idea right now. They did say one cool thing though, that it's supposed to be different every time you play it. So that's sort of neat. Like, I guess the raids are always the same every time you play them.
Yeah, but when they say different every time you play it, it could just be like,
Just the modifiers.
yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
Arc burn, arc shield. Oh. Gotcha.
because you can't give them too much credit. 'Cause
But so
that's
yeah, like a lot of it is still pretty uncertain. But the loot game actually has me excited again, where it's like, ooh, now I can get different looking things and not have to worry about them not being good enough. Because I'm wearing a lot of stuff that's not good enough right now. It's just like, I think it looks better. They didn't specifically say, like, I was thinking when they first said, oh, you can upgrade everything to the max one. I was like, oh, so I can get my old Russia rifle all the way up to 365? And it would just be like, the default starter rifle is going to be super powerful.
yeah, I think they only meant like legendaries and stuff though, because they're the ones that had that level of attack power.
You can't even push the upgrade button on white common gear.
It's like, why do you even still have this? Why do you even still have this?
Because it's fun. Totally weak. I'm like worthless, but it's fun. But yeah, the more I see, the more I feel like, I'm sorry, PS3 360, like, but you gotta go. Being held back so much.
Not on purpose.
On purpose. They weren't sure that they would have the base on next gen.
Wow.
So yeah, that's your weekly Destiny. We didn't play any, but there it is. Star Wars Celebration was this weekend. Check it.
Yeah.
Were you pumped?
Oh yeah, after I saw the trailer, I was. It's weird because like after the first year, I was like, eh. After this one though, dude, that scene where like Luke and R2 is like, just that did it. That's like after that, the X-wings just just oh my god, yeah.
Oh my.
I'm good. I even bought a shirt. I even bought like an effing shirt, like the new Republic, or not the old Republic thingy crest of like, yes, I got my shirt. I'm ready. I'm ready for day one. Star Wars, can't wait. December, it's gonna be amazing.
I'm actually very sad. Like I started thinking this weekend, like, how come they don't just stream movies like day one when they come out in theaters? Because the people who are going to theaters, they're gonna go anyway. Because it's totally different than watching it at home. But that just means you're locking out the people who can't go out.
And it's gonna be cold, so it's like, oh, because I live in cold weather state.
Age of Ultron is soon. It's like next week.
It's funny, Trioptical, because like that trailer totally like vacuumed out all my enthusiasm for anything else on the planet. After I saw it, I was like, that just went straight to the top. Everything else was like, F them, just F them, let the effers burn, F them.
Oh my.
Just like whoosh, and just like
so sad.
there's only
I have
one.
to wait like 6 months for all of these.
Oh, I'm sorry, Trioptical.
I say you just.
I'll be watching Star Wars
just take
in
her with
June.
you. Just take her with you.
June, like a regular blockbuster.
Why don't you just go to like a matinee or something if you're worried about,
I told
causing...
you about my theater here, right?
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
1.5 stars.
I
What
forgot.
thing still has 1.5 stars and is open? That's just amazing.
And that's the
Um,
only theater place that they don't have like one of the big
it's
chains around.
crazy.
That
It's
just doesn't
crazy.
make sense to me.
Oh man, it sucked because I went back to the place I used to live,
Mm.
and there had been signs around that they were going to open a new Marcus Theater, and I lived there for like 2-3 years, and it was just empty fields with signs that said, "Hey, coming soon," and it was never there until this time I went back, and it wasn't even like a hole in the ground or like stilts or whatever. Like the theater was there, and it said opening April 30th, and I was like,
It's like
"What?"
son of a
It's like,
bitch.
oh, they're opening for Avengers money.
Pretty much, yeah.
That it was just like
That's kind of messed up.
new state of the art theater. But no, this is Aimless Babble Z, and we talk games. Or we try. And
Sometimes.
so it was, we got to see in-game, in-engine, they say, Battlefront footage.
I
And
can
it
say
looks...
Battlefront 3, I could care less though. Just like whatever.
Really?
No,
You're not interested
no
at all?
interest at all.
Wow.
Dead to
Why?
me. Because all it is PvP, shoot, shoot, shoot. I mean, yeah, there's co-op mode, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just mindless blasting stuff away with guns, whatever.
So you don't care that their goal is to make you feel like you're in Star Wars?
Nope. I've heard that before.
I mean, isn't that technically what Star Wars is? Pretty much like a giant PvP movie because it's like, aren't there like two sides and the whole war thing going
Says the
on?
person who hasn't seen any of them. Shut up, RPG.
I'm just asking. I mean, I figure like, 'cause, I mean, it's
Oh,
even in the name, it's in the title. It's the whole wars thing going on. So I mean, it's kind of like
oh man,
implied that there's a lot of
there
fighting.
was a really interesting article this week about the development of Star Wars Galaxies. Did you play that
No.
in the past? Oh, it was right, MMO that you had to pay a subscription. It was insane, like the story that they're talking about. So apparently, like Star Wars Galaxy had been in development and it just wasn't going well, and like a second team was brought in to develop, and that team like didn't use anything that the first team made, so the first 2 years of development were just thrown out, and the last three was when that game became what it eventually became. They had this huge the article is about Jedis in Star Wars Galaxy. It's like how do you make Jedis in a game that has tons and tons of players, but still make them, have the characteristics of Jedi in the Star Wars universe. And like the game is set,
After
it's like
the fall
after
of
A
the
New
Jedi,
Hope
yeah.
and before Hoth. And so it's like Jedi are supposed to be really rare. They're supposed to be super powerful. And like, how do you balance that in the game? And so like the original design, the scrapped 2-year design, just had Jedi as a selectable class and just made them not powerful. So like everything looked like Force lightning you could do, but it was basically just blasters, happening in the background and dice roll happening in the background. And they decided it's like, that's sort of sucky. And like they had this awesome idea that didn't make it into the game because of one word, permadeath. And the way they wanted to do it was so like Diablo, you have one character slot which is a hardcore slot, and basically that character, once they die, they're just gone. And so they wanted to make it like that, where it's like you just have this sort of force sensitive slot, and basically it played totally different than your other slots, and you could do force things, but you'd start out really weak. And the thing about that time period is that like stormtroopers and stuff were everywhere, the Empire is everywhere, and like NPCs, if they saw you doing force stuff, they would report you, and then like stormtroopers didn't show up. And so like the progression was sort of like it was like a part stealth game, part Jedi game, because the more you did force stuff, like the more powerful you become. But then the more powerful you became, the the easier it was that people would see it and then report you. And like the enemies that they would send to come kill you would become more and more powerful until finally it was Darth Vader. And like the end game was always that you would die. But there would be like a timer that showed how long you lived as a Jedi. or as a Force sensitive who, you could eventually become a Jedi. And they wanted to do this thing where it's like, oh, you could have this special ability on your normal character slots where if you had made a whole bunch of really high level Force sensitive characters, you could summon them. And the designer was talking about, he pictured people sitting next to a campfire and like summoning this sort of, the ghostly Jedi master figures from the movies. They would just be, you would summon like a circle. It was like your council of advisors that you could summon. And other players would see it as like, oh man, that guy's really awesome at playing Force sensitive. But yeah, the permadeath thing, they were just like, no. And so in the end, they had come up with a system where it was like, you know what we should do is that in this day and age, if you have it be sort of like a quest line or whatever, and even if it's a really hard quest line, it's going to be, well, people are going to figure it out really quickly, and then there's just going to be Jedi everywhere, and then it destroys your universe. And they also identified like the type of people who are going to undertake that kind of quest line are always like the same type of MMO players. They're going to be the power hungry, either because they're power hungry or because they want to go kill other players. And I was like, well, you can't, that would also break the Jedi. So in the end, they had come up with a system where it was going to be sort of a personality test. You had to do certain things, and they wanted the people who most like enjoyed living in the world. So basically, like, they would track what people were doing, and it would be random things. It would be things, or not random things, but to a player, they would appear random. You would, whoever went up to the highest point on this mountain or whatever, or like hanged out in this club for a certain amount of time. And it was just like lots of random things, and they wouldn't tell anyone. So when you undertook the task, it wouldn't say you were doing it. And when you completed it, it wouldn't tell you that you were doing it. And then when you reached Jedi, it wouldn't even tell you that. It would tell you that you had reached Jedi status the next time you logged in. And so, they had designed this sort of personality test style to pick those who were worthy to be Jedi.
Oh dear.
And I was like, that sounds really cool. That would actually be really cool, and that would make them super rare. And that way, if they're super rare, they could keep them super powerful because not very many people would ever get it.
But wouldn't they have to have like a balancing force though? Because then it's like if you have, because even if it is just like super rare, it's like if you had those few people that are like running around and they're like uplifting mountains and crap. Because I don't know what kind of powers Jedi have, but it's
so this was pre-Force Unleashed. So before the Force Unleashed, like, the Jedi are not supposed to be that powerful. They're supposed to be, they're just like, like when Yoda lifts an X-Wing with his mind, it still seemed to take some sort of exertion. It's not just like, I'm going to bring down the moon.
because that would be bad.
But, I think that's part of it. Like, the tasks that they would have chosen would have, they think, picked certain types of players who would be most like, I think they were going for like the role-playing type of players. So not people who are just there to, the power hungry and just, we're going to get all the best gear and then just like, I'm going to be Jedi and then I'm going to be able to destroy everything. They were looking
for those kind of people. Could they have like made them into like the Sith or something kind of thing? Because aren't
power hungry?
That would have made sense. That be like, and they would have outnumbered the Jedi, so it would have been like, yeah, it's balanced because the Sith want to kill the Jedi. So.
I don't think there were that many Sith in that era either. Well, that was one of their solutions. They thought, was like, can't we just change the era? Go to like Old Republic, and there was tons of Jedi and Sith at that point, and then we could just have that. But I guess, their deal was like, no, it has to be set in that certain time period, so they couldn't do things like that. So even Sith were supposed to be rare at the time.
I thought like eventually they changed it to where there's like a ton of Jedi running around.
Yeah, that's so they made a mistake. So basically, like, as development went on, they actually never made this personality test. They had planned it, but it never made it into the game. And there was a short conversation, they were under the gun. They had to really get the game out, and they asked, I forget who these people were. Some guy in charge was asked by another guy, and he's like, "Yeah, so what are we gonna do with this?" He's like, so that guy came up with the solution. Okay, we'll just do it based on skills. So if you get certain skills, then you'll become a Jedi. And then they released the game, and it was really broken. Like I remember playing it back in the day. They basically they did triage on the game. As they developed, and it was like, okay, now we have to launch it. What are we gonna do? And they basically decided, well, for example, like vehicles. Like, oh, we don't need player vehicles yet because, I mean, it'll suck that you have to walk across the entire planet, but you can get there. And so they made lots of cuts and decisions based on stuff like that. It was like, player houses. Like, well, I mean, no one's going to be high level enough yet to build a house. So, that one kind of makes sense. But the vehicle thing I remember distinctly because I remember walking across the entire planet and it took forever. And that's the only thing I remember ever doing in that game.
It's walking a lot.
It was crazy. But yeah, the Jedi thing became based on skills. And they sort of thought, like, they made some estimates, like, yeah, it's going to take 6 to 8 months for the first Jedi to appear. And the thing was, like, apparently it was kind of successful for them at the time. So before the Jedi appeared, people just played the classes that they wanted to play. And if you never played Star Wars Galaxy, it was a very strange game. Like, the economy was supposed to be entirely player-driven. So in the beginning, it was really bad because there was no infrastructure. Like, all of us were out there mining minerals. There were no blasters to buy on the marketplace because no one knew how to make them, and no one had any minerals yet. And so it was just like everyone was out mining, and eventually it was like, oh, people were able to craft things, and then there were things to sell. And there was like there was a battle fatigue system, which I've never seen in any other game. Like, you could go out and fight and then come back, and you could heal your health, but you can't heal your fatigue on your own. You had to watch entertainers, and so there were other players. Yeah, other players who were entertainers who would dance, and then, like, as other players watched the dancers, like, they would get their fatigue, like, restored.
What?
And so, like, the dancer class, like, yeah, the entertainer class, their only purpose was there to, like, heal other players' fatigue.
So what would have happened if no one chose that class?
It would have been, I guess, a disaster. Like,
like, did they not think
the fighters
about
can't
that?
progress in the game? But, well, the thing was, like, it worked. Like, apparently people weren't, like, players who were playing as entertainers, they weren't, it would have been easy for them to just, like, macro it, and then so their characters just sort of on autopilot, and they would just be leveling up on autopilot. But no, actually people apparently were really into playing as entertainers and miners. Like, I think I was a miner or something. And so it was like the most dull thing I've ever done. You just walk out into the fields, and then you have, like, this radar, and it tells you, oh, there's, like, minerals here. And, like, there was no animation. Basically, your character would kneel down. There would be, like, puff of smoke over your head, and then it was like, oh, 1 mineral. Puff of smoke over your head, oh, 1 mineral. And you just,
Why
like,
I don't play
crouched
MMOs. By Trioptical.
Well, I mean, it at the same time, though, it sounds like it was one of those things that's like, it sounds like it would have been a good idea in theory if they had, like, I
if they
guess,
had
like,
built
the power
out
to,
the game and, like,
yeah, and it's like,
made it fun.
it's like, it's possible that, like, all these things could have came together, and it could have, like, been awesome. Like, I mean, I don't know what kind of classes they have in this game, because it just sounds weird, because based on what I do know about Star Wars, it's like, why would this be a thing? But, I mean, whatever,
like,
I guess it was necessary.
That was what they were going for. They were going for an entirely player-driven Star Wars universe, and it was
yeah,
the
I think they
tagline
were.
was like, live. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, like, the goal was to live in that galaxy. It wasn't, be the superheroes or, like, be the Jedi or whatever. It was like, live in Star Wars was the point of the game, and people really dug it. Like, that was my first MMO, so I was just like, this is nuts, and I just didn't really play it that much. And like, so I actually never paid for the subscription. I bought the game and I played for those first 30 days, and then I was like, I'm done.
See, Trioptical, that's why you never stick to MMOs. Star Wars Galaxy broke you, and it was your first one.
It was
Ever
hilarious.
since then, it's like, whatever, I'll play it for 30 days. Never
So
go
basically, yeah, like people seemed to enjoy it at the time, and they were actually getting more and more subscribers over the first few months. So I was like, oh, it's actually doing kind of well, and so they were sort of diligently in the background working on new systems. But then marketing was like they didn't think it was fast enough. Marketing, according to their story, and this is
Always
like
marketing, those guys.
marketing was like, yeah, it's not fast enough. Like, when are Jedi going to appear? And they're like, oh, like in December or something. And they're like, no, you need to drop hints. And they were just like, okay. So they did a holocron drops. They would drop like holocrons sort of randomly into the game, and there'd be hints. But then the problem with that was when you have thousands of players, and like basically the players would gather together. It's like, all of the holocrons have hints about skills. And so immediately it was sort of like the mystery was gone. It was just like, oh, it's all based on skills. And then so everyone started playing trying to get every single skill. And it broke the game. Like, it feels like this is the reason why Star Wars Galaxies died, because people who were totally content playing entertainers or whatever and having a lot of fun suddenly had to play the game in a way that they didn't want to play. So like entertainers were going out there fighting monsters and stuff, and like miners would go out there and like be entertainers, and it was just like it became a mess. And then because like that's what it became. It's like, we don't know what the skills are exactly, so we're just gonna get all of them one by one. And it just became this huge grind fest. And then finally the first Jedi appeared, and then hundreds of Jedi appeared. And yeah, and it just like it messed up the game. And besides it being broken, like they did add more and more stuff, and at one point there really was like space flight and things like that. But the balance of everything had become the power hungry and the player killers were all Jedi.
So what's so special about the Jedi though? Is it just like they're the only ones who can use the Force thing, or is it just like
yeah, basically. Like they examined that part. They talked about, it's like, the Jedi sort of break the entire fiction of Star Wars. It's like, if Jedi were real, they would be villains, because it's like they're too powerful. And so
isn't that why they're like, because aren't the Sith technically like just evil
they're
Jedi?
like
But they have like
anti-Jedi.
the same power set or something. Just one's like more willing to kill than the others, or some crap like that.
Well, they've changed it over the years. Like, I think in the most traditional versions, like the Sith have like skills that kill stuff. So like force choke.
Yeah, it's kind of like
and
the yin
force
yang,
lightning.
like
But I mean-
creation destruction.
But couldn't the Jedi technically do that? They just choose not to because they're good. Because I mean, is it just like a thing where it's like you have to be evil to be able to use that kind of power?
Well, if we consider the validity of the prequels, there's a part where Yoda says, or basically, I think what it means is that Jedi wouldn't know how. Like they have the same energy source, but it's all
Yeah, I was just
about
about to say, but they have the
knowledge,
same
and they
powers.
wouldn't know how. Perhaps they could do a force choke, because that's just the same as force pushing or pulling or doing anything. But like force lightning is not necessarily something that a Jedi would know how to do.
So they can't shoot lightning?
Nope.
Oh, well, that's kind of it's kind of a huge disadvantage. I mean, you have this group of people who can shoot lightning from their hands, and the other group can't do that.
There's too much Star Wars stuff that I could explain to someone who has never seen it, so we won't do that here. But yeah,
Although that would explain why they're rare,
fairly
I guess. If they can't shoot
yeah.
lightning, they're probably all getting lightning to death. So,
Look, they talked about like one of the other solutions that people have come up with in the past is that they'll either tell stories that don't involve Jedi at all, or they'll make up villains that are as powerful as the Jedi. So the Sith is like the only one that's in the movies. But like in the Clone Wars TV series, there's things like I forget the people that Darth Maul is from, like those witches.
Zabrak?
They're supposed to have it started with a D. It's like the witches of Dal. Yeah. I don't know.
so there's actual magic in this universe too.
Well, so like the Force is supposed to be the magic, quote unquote, in the universe, but yeah, then they invent other characters because like the Jedi are super powerful. What are you supposed to use against them? And so that's what they've done in like expanded universe fiction and stuff like that.
They don't really sound
Either
like
have no Jedi or have people who are as strong as the Jedi.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't understand. They don't really sound all that powerful. They're just running around with like swords and stuff, right? They're not like what would
They're
make them
also
so
like they
powerful?
have they can kind of see the future.
I guess
So
that's
they
useful.
can react very quickly because they actually see what's going to happen first.
Hmm.
It's like Spidey sense, but different.
But ah, hmm.
But yeah, it was very interesting. It's like, oh, so Star Wars Galaxy could have been really awesome. They just I don't know, ran out of time or are not good at managing their time and nothing. Some people really liked it. And then well the new I think they called it the New Galaxies Experience, NGE, where
Yeah.
they totally revamped the game and then
Tons of Jedi.
yeah, like you could pick a Jedi from the beginning, and it was basically the design decision that the first team made, where everyone can pick Jedi at the beginning. They're just not weak. They're not special. They're not stronger than the other classes and stuff like that. So yeah, that game died. So Battlefront is the first of EA's new deal with Star Wars and Disney. It looks really incredible, but yeah, I guess Tekken is right. There is no single player campaign. It is all PvP, except for a small PvE type thing.
So wait, is it just like are you just like choosing factions or something at the
It's
beginning and you're
essentially
just
Battlefield with a Star Wars skin. It's not that simplified, but just go with it. It works.
mm,
Essentially, it's 20 players fighting 20 other players. There will be objectives, but for the most part, you just shoot the other guys with the different color blasters. Occasionally, there will be
Hero unit
sort of
that
hero
spawns.
characters that spawn, and then you get to be one of them.
that doesn't sound as fun as the Galaxy game you were mentioning. That-
Right? Like the mystical galaxies that could have been. That seemed like an awesome game.
Because it's like I mean, despite not knowing anything about the universe, I would have probably played a game like that. But now it's like this just sounds like Call of Duty, except with space
Man,
stuff.
Trioptical, that would
So,
be that'd be like kind of insane if like there was some sort of like reverse roguelike stuff in games where it was about like there's like hidden triggers and things that like get you cool stuff but you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And like people would just be like, I'm trying. If it was like a co-op game with like a tons of people, and like you want to be like the person that gets like the cool, awesome character that like stands out, versus like the crappy pick the person from the beginning, and it's like, oh, I could be really awesome. I have no idea how to get my powers. They should
the only
make the
issue
powers
the only
game.
issue stuff like that would have though is like because the internet exists is like
Yeah,
once somebody
once someone
figures that
finds out,
out
everybody
they'll
else
probably
will
be
know, yeah.
posting it and it's like well now everybody could do it because I feel it would have been great like if people couldn't find out that way, because then it's like,
Well, that was
well,
the thing. Like their original idea was that no one would be able to find out, and it seemed pretty likely because they weren't even going to tell you that you had achieved it.
it's like you're
Like
just gonna
when
happen.
you
And then
achieve
it's like, oh,
things, like they just happened.
So you log back in. Oh,
you're a
apparently I'm
Jedi.
a
It's like,
Jedi.
wait, what did I do?
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
then
what
like
did
the
I
things
do?
were gonna be different for every character. So like, or for every like for every account, your hidden tasks would be totally different.
That would have been cool if they could have pulled that off. Although I would be kind of interested in this whole entertainer thing now, though, because I was like, I wouldn't even care about being a Jedi. I kind of like this idea of just doing some things like
See, like the
this
Old
is kind of cool.
Republic, which is the current Star Wars MMO, everyone is like, I think probably more than 70% of everyone is a Jedi of some sort in that one. And it's very, from what I played, it's very similar to World of Warcraft, except like the story presentation is better. But yeah, it's not just reading this article and thinking back, oh yeah, I did play that game. It's like that game was really, really different. Too bad it was so broken. Or not broken. It was just very it was yeah, it was like the Wild West. Which I guess is the feeling that Star
It was
Wars
a
kinda
pre-WoW
has.
era before you could just be like,
Yeah.
what's Warcraft doing? Let's copy that. Just go from there.
Yeah.
Loot, grind. Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of takes away from,
dungeons.
people actually doing cool stuff like that because now it's like, well, I just want my money, so I'm just gonna
Yep.
reskin World of Warcraft and just hope for the best. So, because stuff like that would be cool when you have like secret tasks and there's all people can choose whatever class they want and they have their own economy and that would be like a cool system. Like I would play something like that, but then it's just like when you get
Does not
games that all the same,
exist.
it does not, which makes me sad. It's like if people were allowed to do things like this and were given the time and you know publishers weren't all about, hey, how about you hurry up and give me my money, and then we could probably have so many awesome games, and it's just
Yeah, it's like looking at Deus Ex, man. Like the pre Call of Duty stuff is like like if you look at Human Revolution, even it's like that has the inventory, it has RPG elements, like. But now it seems like if games want to like make a first-person shooter with RPG elements, it's like, oh, let's just copy what Borderlands did. Guns and numbers, loot.
and then you get stuff like Destiny, and it's like, oh, well then, this is just awful. Because like,
It is
if
pretty
you
crazy that there aren't more games like Borderlands. Like that was ridiculously successful, and it feels like more people should have copied it, but not that
well,
many
I
people
know it's like
have.
it might have been too obvious if people did, because then it was like, this is
When
clearly
has
a
that ever
Borderlands ripoff.
stopped anyone?
I mean, well, I think in cases like that, it might have only because it's like, uh, with Borderlands, it's like, well, why go with this knockoff when I could just, get Borderlands? So it's like, I wouldn't waste my money on whatever you're doing. So it might not have paid off in the end for stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm kind of sad now that games like that don't exist because I would have totally played it. I would have totally played it.
They should have announced that
I
at
would have
Star
I
Wars
would have
Celebration.
I would have like
Galaxies
run my
2.
own saloon or something. They have saloons in that universe, right? I could totally do
Yeah.
it.
Well, like what they were talking about was like the entertainers. They would form like basically traveling circuses, and there'd just be like a whole bunch of entertainer players roaming the countryside to heal fatigued battle centric characters. Like
Could
that's
have
kind of
been.
cool.
Could have been. Someone should like do something like that. So, I don't know who or with what property, but someone should try to do something like that and make it happen. Make it happen.
What else came out of? Well, since this is about games, that's really all that came out of that. we saw a short trailer. Lots of people complained, as always. So that's not news. Eh, I guess my excitement is slightly diminished. It's more like a rental game. I can say that now because I have a rental store. It's more like a rental game to me right now. It looks really good, but we haven't seen actual gameplay yet.
It's also coming out in November, which is like, yeah, good luck with that. After I saw that.
November 17th, I think, which
Oh
is
my. Isn't that like Call of Duty
isn't that
Day?
usually Call of Duty's Day? Oh, well, so sort of a side news thing that a lot of sites have been talking about is that PlayStation branding is all over the Star Wars Battlefront trailer. So the speculation is that there's going to be some sort of exclusive stuff for Battlefront for PS4.
Dun dun dun.
But then yeah, then there's also the talk about, like, well, Uncharted got moved to next year, so what does PlayStation have for this holiday season? And it's like, whoa, if Battlefront is closely associated with PlayStation, maybe that's all they need, because it is Star Wars, and that movie is coming out, and that was the mentality behind game tie-ins in the past. Is like, movie comes out, people want to go to the store and buy the game and the soundtrack and stuff like that. Don't know.
E3 is gonna be soon, and then they'll put everybody's worries to rest and be like, "Yeah, we got plenty of stuff coming out this holiday season. Just relax, guys."
Or it'll be completely void of anything. They'll be like, the crash is imminent. Oh no, abandoned ship. We knew it. We knew
I
it.
think
We were
that's
right.
my line, Tekken.
I doubt it.
This shit sucks. Yeah.
This is going to be a ridiculously exciting E3. I've been thinking about E3 predictions already,
Yeah.
but I guess it's too soon.
I'm excited.
Ridiculously crazy. Like, I think this is the first year we get to see what Xbox's direction is.
And now that all the current gen consoles have been out now it can be just like an actual focus on them instead of trying to sell them. So now we can see games. So many games. Games.
Was there any other news this week?
I don't know. Is it June yet?
All I saw was like movie trailer news this week.
I don't think there's any other news. I could be wrong though. I didn't
Just
really
like
check. So
Star Wars trailer, and then Batman versus Superman trailer, and then Fantastic Four trailer, and then there was like a Terminator trailer.
the Terminator trailer that literally spoils everything. You need to see the movie after you see that one. It's like, yep.
Oh, really? I didn't even see it. Yeah, the Batman versus Superman trailer was like, so Batman is the villain in the movie, right?
I wouldn't say that Trioptical, but they made it seem like they were gonna make him a dick.
It's like it.
And I was like, whatever. This is dead to me now. So good job.
In all fairness, he kind of is, though. He kind of is. He just happens to be good at what he does, so people are okay with him being such an a-hole.
That's why we watch like Ramsey and Sherlock Holmes and House. I like to watch people who are good at what they do, regardless of whether they're nice or not.
Terrible people? Yeah. It's half the fun.
I just want to see movies in theaters when they come out.
I'm sorry.
I guess we are less than 2 months away from E3, so yeah, less than 60 days. Yay.
Woohoo!
My gosh.
I want to talk E3.
Is it June yet? Is it June yet?
Tropical.
All right. In that case, we're done with the news.
So time to sign off. Yay.
Yay! Check us out, aimlesspodcast.com. We're also on Twitch, as you may or may not see, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, iTunes. Subscribe, follow, like. Those are all the actions associated with those things. Bookmark. Comment. We don't know who you are. It's very strange to get the view counts and downloads that our systems seem to indicate and then have no comments. Maybe there's
Well,
nothing to say. Maybe we were that good.
yes, that's what I like to believe.
Why is it that topics we talk about always seem to appear a few days later? Is that why you don't comment? You're ashamed?
Because you know we're gonna find out. You know.
It's baffling.
But it's true. But it's okay though. It's okay. We know who you are.
Also, Left 4 Dead should have been copied more, but whatever. Anything to say before we wrap up?
Well,
our review?
they made Evolved, and you didn't want to get that, so
that is completely different than
it's
Left 4
like
Dead.
it's almost the same
No, it's
setup.
not. No, it's not.
It's
No.
pretty similar.
Nope, you don't fight a giant monster in Left 4 Dead.
You kind of do.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get from point A to point B while you survive. And there are, unless you're playing versus in the second game, because there's no versus in the first game, you have to worry about people. So it's like, yay, no people. Just me and my survivor friends or bots.
Was there no verses in the first game?
Nope.
Really?
Pretty sure Evolve does not have bot support because,
it does.
There's a single player campaign.
No, there's.
Yeah, it has bot support.
I guess I'll check it out when it's $20.
It'll be too late. It'll be too late. Nobody will be playing it by then.
Well, I don't need other people if I'm playing with bot check, but you do not.
Yeah, but I mean, half the fun of games like that is playing with other people. Otherwise, what's the point?
Anything to say before we wrap this up, RPG?
Always be the monster. And I guess Sith for the win, since we were talking about Star Wars too. So, yeah.
Would you say that you're this podcast's ill content?
No.
Oh, well, never mind then. So,
I don't want to agree to something.
that's for this podcast episode, like Tropic said, check us out. And, what will we be playing next week? Will someone finish another game, as we have made pretty good progress this week with 2 out of 3 hosts completing the game? What new question or RR will we have to discuss? And will there be any breaking news to talk about and stuff? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of Aimless Babble Z.